What happened when I stopped supporting my family? Before we begin the story, make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss more incredible stories every day. I'm staring at my phone when the credit alert pops up like a gunshot. New account opened. Peachtree Community Credit Union. My hands are still trembling from the overnight shift at Fulton County Dispatch. I've spent 12 hours telling strangers to breathe, coaching chest compressions, timing sirens. I'm good at staying calm when the world is on fire. But this is my family. Denise is already calling. Not texting. Calling, because calls don't leave receipts. I let it ring twice, then answer. Hi, Mom. Her voice is a practiced wobble. Mia? Thank God. You're awake. Listen, we need you. We. I repeat, and I'm already tired. Kyle jumps in over her shoulder like he's been waiting with his mouth open. Sis, don't freak out, okay? It's not that bad. I swallow. What's not that bad? Denise goes sharp. Your brother's landlord is being insane. They're saying if we don't bring the rest today, they'll... No. The word comes out cold, like a door clicking shut. Silence, then the inhale of disbelief. Excuse me. I'm not sending money anymore. I say. Not today. Not next week. Not until you get on your feet. I'm done. Kyle laughs, like I told a joke. Okay, drama queen. You've always been dramatic. Denise's wobble turns into steel. After everything I sacrificed for you. I stare at the credit alert again. The timing is too perfect. Mom, why did a credit union just open an account under my name? What? She snaps too quickly. What are you talking about? Stop changing the subject. I'm not changing the subject. I'm finally seeing it. Kyle's voice turns low. You're really gonna abandon us? You know people will hear about this. Denise starts talking over him. If you don't help, we lose the house. We lose everything. Is that what you want? I look around my tiny apartment, the thrift store couch, the stack of overtime pay stubs I never spend on myself. I think of the last 5 years of emergencies. I think of my aunt's voice from last month. Document everything, baby. They don't love you. They use you. My phone buzzes again, another alert, and my stomach drops hard. It didn't start like this. When I was 23 and got hired as a dispatcher, I felt like I'd finally grabbed the edge of something stable. My dad had been gone for 2 years by then. Heart attack in the break room at his warehouse job, no warning, no insurance that mattered. Denise went from stay-at-home mom to I don't know how to pay a bill without him overnight. The first request sounded reasonable. Just until I figure it out, she said, sitting at my kitchen table with a pile of envelopes like they were snakes. You're the only one who's steady. Kyle was 26 then, already calling himself an entrepreneur, already allergic to time clocks. He hugged me like we were a team. I'll pay you back the moment my thing pops, he promised. I remember how good it felt to be needed. I'd grown up watching Denise stretch groceries with coupons, watching Dad work double shifts. Helping felt like honoring him. So I paid the first one, $487 for the electric bill in April 2020. Denise cried and kissed my forehead like I was still a kid. Kyle sent a thumbs-up emoji. Then rent came due. Just this month, Mom said. $1, $150, and I swear I'll cover next month. Then the car broke down. Then Kyle needed a certification. Then Denise's blood pressure meds were suddenly $220 because insurance changed. Every time I hesitated, Denise had a phrase ready. Families don't keep score. You'll understand when you have kids. Do you want your mother in the dark? And every time Kyle promised it was temporary. I'm so close, he'd say. You'll laugh about this later. Meanwhile, I was taking overtime, skipping vacations, eating ramen on nights I'd listen to a stranger die on speakerphone. I thought that's what love looked like, showing up, paying, absorbing the fear so they didn't have to. If you're wondering why I didn't stop sooner, it's because Denise didn't ask like a stranger. She asked like a mother who could still make me feel 6 years old with one sigh. And when you're 6, you don't know that temporary can last forever. By 2021, I could predict the cycle like a dispatcher predicts a caller's panic. It always began with a text that didn't include, "Hi, Emma, call me. Please. It's urgent." If I didn't answer fast enough, Kyle would send a follow-up like he was my manager. Kyle, don't do that thing where you disappear. Mom's freaking out. Then the call. Denise would start small, as if she was easing me into a pool. I hate to ask, she'd whisper, which was her favorite lie. Then she'd drop the number. Just $300, she'd say. as if $300 didn't equal almost a whole grocery trip for me. The water got shut off. I'd open my bank app with my lunch on my lap, staring at my own balance like it was a moral test. Then I'd pay, because the idea of my mother turning on a faucet and getting nothing made my chest hurt. 2 weeks later, a new emergency would arrive wearing a different hat. September 14th, 2021. $650 for Kyle's truck insurance so he can work. The memo on Zelle said insurance. Kyle's truck never stopped sitting in the driveway. January 3rd, 2022, $1,200 to keep the heat on. Atlanta was cold that week, and Denise sent me a photo of her thermostat like it was evidence in court. March 22nd, 2022, $480 for HOA fees. I didn't even know we had an HOA. Every single time, there was a promise. Next paycheck, Kyle would say. Tax refund, Denise would swear. When my disability comes through. And then nothing. If I asked, Denise would get wounded. Are you accusing me? Kyle would go offended. Wow, okay. Money changed you. So I stopped asking. I started paying. I turned into their emergency fund with a pulse. Aunt Jolene noticed before I did. She'd call me after church, voice like sandpaper. Baby, why you always broke and always tired? I'm fine, I'd say, because admitting the truth felt like admitting I'd been played. Jolene would snort. Fine don't look like dark circles and a second job. I laughed it off then. I didn't want to think my family's love could have conditions. But love that invoices you isn't love. It's a bill, and it comes due. The last straw came in a place where I couldn't even pretend it was private. Denise insisted we do Kyle's launch dinner at a chain steakhouse in Marietta. He'd been building a business again, this time sports analytics consulting, which sounded like gambling with extra syllables. I showed up in my work hoodie because I'd come straight from a shift. Denise arrived in a new blazer, hair blown out. Kyle had a watch I'd never seen before. The bill hit the table like a dare. Kyle didn't reach for it. Denise didn't even glance. She slid it toward me with 2 fingers. You can grab that, right? It's for family. I stared at the total, $312. 48. My throat went hot. Mom, I didn't even order a drink. Denise laughed, loud enough for the server to hear. Oh, honey, don't be embarrassing. You have a good job. Kyle leaned back, smug. You're the successful one. That's your role. Something in me snapped, not a scream, just a quiet, ugly clarity. I thought of my dented Corolla, my rent, the way I'd been putting off a dentist appointment because the copay felt like a luxury. I'm not paying, I said. Denise's smile froze. Kyle's eyebrows lifted like I'd slapped him. Denise hissed, still smiling for the room. Mia, don't do this here. Kyle lowered his voice. Come on, sis. It's $300. It's not $300, I said. It's always $300. It's always something. Denise leaned closer, perfume and pressure. You want everyone to know you let your own mother struggle? You want to look selfish? The server stood there with his little machine, pretending not to hear. My face burned. Kyle finally threw his card down like he was making a donation. Fine, I'll cover it, he said, loud, for performance. Since Mia wants to make a point. Outside, Denise didn't let me breathe. Now that you've humiliated us, she said, we need you to fix something. I waited. Our mortgage is short. $840. Due tonight, or they start the process. The number was too specific, too urgent, too rehearsed. And when I asked for the notice, Denise's eyes flicked away. That's when I realized the emergency wasn't new at all. 2 days later, Denise called at 6:12 a.m., which meant she'd been awake spiraling and decided to make it my problem. I can't breathe, she said, not medically, emotionally. Mia, you don't understand what you did to us at that restaurant. I didn't do anything, I said, staring at my ceiling. I just didn't pay. You made Kyle look like a deadbeat, she snapped. He is a deadbeat, I said before I could stop myself. The silence after that was thick. Then the guilt tactics rolled in, one after another like waves. You think you're better than us now? I raised you. I fed you. Do you know how many nights I went without so you could have shoes? I rubbed my eyes. Mom, I'm grateful. But I'm not your paycheck. You're not listening, she said, voice sharpening into command. We need $840 by tonight. No, I said again, steadier this time. I'm not sending money anymore. I'll help you budget. I'll help you call the bank. I'll help you find programs. But I am not paying. Kyle must have been on speaker because he exploded. Are you kidding me? You're gonna let mom lose her house over a principal? I'm gonna let adults handle their own bills, I said. My heart was pounding, but my voice didn't shake. This is my boundary. Denise made her voice small. So you're choosing money over family. I'm choosing my life, I said. She went cold. Then don't call me when you need us. I almost laughed at that, which scared me. I realized how lopsided everything had been. When I hung up, my hands were sweating. I called Aunt Jolene because she was the only person in my family who didn't pretend reality was negotiable. She answered on the second ring. Baby. I told Mom no. I whispered, like I'd committed a crime. Jolene didn't gasp. She didn't scold. She said, good. Then, softer. Now listen to me. Screenshot everything. Save every text. Every transfer. They're gonna act like you're the villain, and you're gonna need proof for yourself. For what? I asked. Jolene exhaled. For when you find out where your money really went. My stomach tightened. Jolene, what do you know? I know Denise, she said. And I know patterns. My phone lit up with a new message from Kyle, and my blood went cold. Kyle didn't text me privately. He posted in the family group chat where Denise had curated an audience of cousins like a jury. Kyle, just so everyone knows, Mia cut Mom off. On Christmas. It wasn't Christmas. It was October. But he knew what he was doing, painting me as a villain with a holiday backdrop. Denise followed with her own performance. Denise, I never wanted to say anything, but I'm scared. I don't know what we're going to do. A cousin I barely spoke to replied, wow, that's cold, Mia. Another, family is family. Shameful. My hands shook as I scrolled. I typed, then deleted. I've been helping for 5 years. I can't anymore. Kyle immediately replied, so you admit it. You're abandoning us. Denise sent a voice note. 3 minutes of crying and dramatic pauses. I don't understand how my own daughter can be so cruel. The next day, Denise escalated offline. She called my supervisor at dispatch. My coworker Tasha slid her phone toward me, eyebrows raised. Your mom says it's an emergency. I listened to Denise's voicemail in the break room. Mia won't answer, she sobbed. Please, she's all I have. If she doesn't come home, we'll be homeless. Tasha whispered, that's not an emergency, that's a campaign. That night, someone banged on my apartment door hard enough to rattle the frame. I froze on my couch, remote in my hand like a weapon. Mia, Kyle shouted from the hallway. Open up. I didn't move. He tried the knob. Mom's in the car crying. We just need to talk. My phone buzzed with a text from Denise. Denise, if you don't open that door, I'll tell everyone you stole from me. I stared at the message until the words blurred. Stole from her. After all the transfers, all the overtime? Kyle's fist hit my door again. You can't hide forever. I opened my notes app and started a list. Dates, amounts, threats. Then I heard Denise's voice outside, calm as ice. Call the police, Mia, and see how that looks. My throat closed, because she knew exactly where I worked. The next morning, I found a white envelope wedged under my door like someone had slid it there on purpose. No return address. Just my name printed clean, not handwritten. Inside was a Welcome to Peachtree Community Credit Union packet. It included a debit card with my name embossed and a letter dated October 18, 2025. Thank you for opening your new checking account. Your account ending in 4412 is now active. My stomach flipped. I hadn't opened anything. I called the number on the letter on my lunch break, sitting in my car with the engine off, listening to the hum of the parking lot like distant insects. Peachtree Community, this is Mr. Patel, a calm male voice said. How can I help you? I got a debit card in the mail, I said. I didn't open an account. There was a pause as he pulled something up. Can you verify your address? I gave him my apartment address. He read it back, and then read another one. On file I also see a mailing address in Smyrna, he said. A.P.O. Box. My skin prickled. Denise lived in Smyrna. Denise loved P.O. boxes because people steal mail, which now sounded like a confession. I don't have a P.O. box, I said carefully. Mr. Patel's voice stayed professional, but I heard the shift. Ma'am, I also see a pending personal loan application connected to this account. A loan? My throat went dry. How much? $22,000, he said. Submitted yesterday at 8:04 p.m. My mouth opened and nothing came out. I thought of Kyle pounding my door at 8 p.m. I thought of Denise's text, you stole from me. I need to freeze everything. I said. Right now? Yes, ma'am, Mr. Patel said. But I'll need you to come in with identification. And you may want to pull your full credit report. I hung up and sat there, palms on the steering wheel, staring at my reflection in the windshield like it belonged to someone else. My phone buzzed with another message in the family chat, a screenshot of my old Zelle transfers, circled in red. Denise, look what she did to us for years. I stared at the debit card in my lap and realized this wasn't just guilt. This was theft with my name on it. I did what I do at work when a caller is panicking. I made it concrete. I went home, opened my laptop, and pulled every bank statement I could download. I searched my email for Zelle, Venmo, urgent, late fee, notice. I scrolled until my eyes burned. I built a spreadsheet with 3 columns: date, amount, reason. At first it was just depressing. $487, electric, $1,150, rent, $220, meds, $650, insurance, $1,200, heat, $480, HOA, $300, water, $840, mortgage short. Then I added a 4th column Jolene suggested, proof. Because whenever Denise told me something, she always attached something. A blurry photo of a bill, a screenshot of a past due balance, a missed call with please call underneath it. I started matching the proof to what actually happened in my accounts. The transfers lined up like footsteps. Every crisis came right after my paycheck cleared. Every request hit on a Tuesday or Friday, like they'd learned my schedule. I pulled my call logs. Denise called me 12 times the day before rent was due, then disappeared for a week after I sent money. Kyle's messages were even more obvious. Whenever I said, I can't, he switched tactics. Kyle, it's fine. I'll figure it out. 2 hours later. Kyle, Mom is crying. Are you happy? I screenshotted everything. I renamed files with dates. 2022-03-22_HOA_480. PNG. It felt ridiculous, like I was building a case against my own mother. Then I did what Mr. Patel suggested. I pulled my full credit report. There were accounts I recognized. My car loan, my student loan, my one credit card that I paid off every month like a ritual. Then there were the ones I didn't recognize. 3 store cards, 2 credit cards, 1 personal loan inquiry from Peachtree, and a missed payment from last summer that I swear I never made. My hands went numb. I called Jolene and read her the list. She didn't sound surprised. Baby, she said softly, your mama been using your good name like it's a coupon. I swallowed. How? I never gave her my passwords. Jolene's voice dropped. You don't need passwords if you got your child's social security number. I stared at the screen, and a new pattern started forming in my head. The next step was ugly. I compared what I sent with what Denise showed me. She'd text a photo of a water shutoff notice, dated October 7th. I'd sent $300 on October 6th. Makes sense, until I zoomed in and noticed it wasn't addressed to our house. It was addressed to Smyrna Pines Unit 3B. Denise didn't live in an apartment. I kept digging. My throat tasted like pennies. On my statements, my transfers to Denise were simple, Zelle to Denise R. But within 24 hours of each deposit, something else popped up, something I'd ignored for years because I wasn't looking for it. ATM withdrawal, quick stop number 19, Austell Road, $200. ATM withdrawal, quick stop number 19, Austell Road, $200. I Googled the address. It was a gas station less than a mile from the Magnolia River Casino shuttle pickup lot. I'd been paying for groceries while she pulled cash in the dark. Then I checked the months where I sent money for Kyle. Whenever I Zelled him, his account didn't show rent payments. It showed merchant names in neat little lines. FanDuel * Sports, $149. 99. DK DraftKings, $200. 00. Bet Online, $99. 99. Sometimes they came in clusters, like a binge. And always, there was a deposit right before my deposit. I sat back, nausea rolling through me. Kyle hadn't been between opportunities. He'd been between wins. I called him anyway. He answered like he'd been waiting. You ready to stop making us the bad guys? Kyle, I said, voice flat. Why does your statement say DraftKings? A beat, then a laugh. Wow, you're spying now? You told me it was rent, I said. It was, he snapped. Rent of my piece. You don't get it. Denise got on the line, breath tight. Mia, don't shame your brother for coping. Coping, I said. Mom, why is your ATM on Austell Road? Her voice went cold. You've always been ungrateful. Then, softer, like a warning. Stop digging before you hurt people. My fingers hovered over my screenshot folder because I realized she wasn't talking about Kyle. 2 nights later, I got home to find my parking spot blocked by Denise's minivan. My stomach knotted before I even climbed the stairs. Kyle and Denise were waiting outside my door with grocery bags like props. Kyle held a bouquet of cheap daisies. Denise had red eyes, the kind you get from crying or practicing. Mimi, she said, using my childhood nickname like a leash. Can we talk? I should have shut the door. Instead, I let them in. They sat on my couch like they owned it. Kyle set the daisies on my coffee table beside my overdue dentist reminder. Denise looked around. It's cozy, she said, then added, I'm proud of you. Kyle jumped in fast. We're not here to fight. That's new, I said. Denise pressed 2 fingers to her sternum. I haven't slept. I'm having chest pains. My dispatcher brain assessed her. No sweating, no shortness of breath, just perfect drama. Kyle leaned forward. Okay, I'll be honest. Sports bets. Bad streak. It's not like I'm a junkie. Denise reached for my hand. I pulled back. We just need a bridge, she whispered. 1 more month. After that, Kyle has a contract. I have a job lead. Everything changes. I stared at them. That's what you always say. Her face tightened. So you're going to let me lose my home? The word home hit me hard. My brain flashed to childhood memories like they were evidence in her favor. Kyle saw my hesitation and pounced. If you love Mom, you'll fix this. I can't fix everything, I said, voice small. Denise's tone sharpened. You can. You just don't want to. Kyle pulled out his phone and shoved it toward me. A screenshot of a past due notice in bold, angry letters. See? It's real. I forced myself to look for the address, the account number, anything solid. Denise leaned in, voice syrupy. Please, just transfer the $840 and we'll handle the rest. My thumb hovered over my banking app like it was possessed. It was the kind of typo you only notice when you're looking for lies. Then I noticed one tiny detail in the screenshot that made my breath catch. The notice Kyle showed me wasn't from a bank. It was a final demand from a property management company for an apartment unit. Smyrna Pines. Unit 3B. My voice came out thin. Why does this say Smyrna Pines? Denise blinked too fast. That's the office name. Kyle snatched the phone back. You're nitpicking. I want the real mortgage notice, I said. With the lender. Denise's eyes flashed. Why are you interrogating me? Because you're asking for $840, I said. Show me. Kyle stood up, suddenly angry. She doesn't owe you an audit. She's your mother. Denise switched to syrup. Mia, please. Help first, questions later. No, I said. Questions now. They left after that, fast and furious. As soon as the door closed, I called the number on the final demand. A receptionist answered. I'm calling about Unit 3B, I said. Whose lease is it? I can't release tenant information, she said. Are you authorized? No. Then I'm sorry. I searched Denise's address next. County records showed the house wasn't even in her name. It was a rental. There is no mortgage, I whispered to my empty apartment. The next day, I drove to Smyrna anyway. Denise wasn't home. Kyle's truck was. I rang the bell until my finger hurt. A neighbor watering plants said, she's always out. She got a P.O. box now too. I walked back to my car and saw a small key taped under Denise's van mirror. The kind of key you hide for family. I took it and slipped into the side door. Inside, the house smelled like air freshener and stale panic. On the counter was a stack of unopened mail, none of it addressed to me. In the hallway closet, I found a locked file cabinet, cheap black metal. The key in my hand didn't fit. A sticky note on the drawer read, MIA, do not touch. I stood there, heart hammering, realizing I was one locked drawer away from the truth. I heard heels on tile, then Kyle's laugh, then Denise saying my name. Then the front door handle turned, and I realized I wasn't alone. I froze in the closet like a burglar in my own mother's house. Denise's voice floated down the hall, sweet and normal. Kyle, don't forget your O. Her steps stopped. Mia, she called sharp. Why are you here? I stepped out, key in my fist. Because you lied. Kyle appeared behind her, eyes wide. What the hell? I pointed at the file cabinet. What's in there? Denise's face flashed with anger, then wounded innocence. You broke into my house. It's a rental, I said. Open it. Denise crossed her arms. No. So I pulled out my phone and hit record. Say it on camera. Why is there a drawer labeled with my name? Kyle lunged. Stop filming. Don't touch me, I said. Denise grabbed my wrist, nails digging in. Delete that. I jerked free and shoved the cabinet hard enough that it tipped. The cheap lock strained, and the top drawer popped open an inch. Just enough. I jammed my fingers in and yanked. Paper spilled out like confession. A Peachtree Community personal loan application with my name printed at the top and Denise's handwriting filling everything in. A photocopy of my driver's license, one I'd lost 2 years ago. Credit card offers addressed to me, mailed to a Smyrna P.O. box. And a printed sheet, FanDuel login, with Kyle's email underneath. Kyle went pale. Mom. Denise slammed the drawer shut. Too late. I filmed every page, every signature line, my hands shaking so hard the video blurred. That's not what it looks like, Denise said. It looks like you stole my identity, I said, voice cracking. Kyle's panic leaked out. Mia, don't report this. You'll ruin Mom. Denise's tears arrived on cue. I was protecting us, she whispered. You were going to leave us. I left, I said. You robbed me anyway. Denise stepped between me and the door, but I slid past her and ran. In my car, I played the video twice, nauseated. I answered in my car, alone, and my hands started shaking. Mr. Patel called, and his first words made my blood run cold. Mr. Patel didn't sound alarmist. That was worse. Ms. Rivera, he said. The loan application wasn't just submitted. It was approved pending verification. My heart dropped. How? There was a cosigner listed, he said. Denise Rivera. And the account was opened as joint. Joint. Like I'd agreed. Jolene's voice in my ear later was steady. Do it smart, baby. Evidence and witnesses. So I texted Denise in the family chat. Meet me at Peachtree Community at 10 a.m. tomorrow. We'll fix it. Denise replied instantly. Finally. Kyle, bring the money. Don't waste time. I didn't correct him. The next morning, I walked into the credit union with Jolene at my side. She wore her Sunday hat and the face she used when she was about to tell someone's business. Denise arrived late, sunglasses on. Kyle strolled behind her, acting bored. Mr. Patel led us into a small office. We need to verify the application, he said. Denise smiled too bright. We just want to help my daughter. I set my phone on the table. Before we verify anything, I'm playing a video. Kyle groaned. Seriously? I hit play. The file cabinet. The papers. Denise's handwriting filling in my information. The P.O. box. The printed FanDuel login sheet with Kyle's email. Denise's smile collapsed. Mia, you invaded my privacy. In a rental you lied about, Jolene said. Answer the question, Denise. Mr. Patel looked at Denise. Ma'am, did you submit this on Ms. Rivera's behalf? Denise's voice went small. I was protecting my family. Kyle cut in. It was going to be temporary. Mr. Patel didn't blink. Using someone's identity is fraud. I slid 2 printed pages across the desk. Kyle's transactions, circled. DraftKings. FanDuel. BetMGM. This is where my rent help went. Kyle's face drained. You're trying to ruin us. I'm trying to stop you, I said. Mr. Patel folded his hands. Ms. Rivera, we can close the joint account and flag the loan, but we will need a report. Denise lunged across the desk and grabbed my wrist. Don't you dare, she hissed. Jolene covered my hand with hers. Let her go. She was scared of losing control, and Mr. Patel reached for his phone. Documents. Kyle texted me paragraphs at 2 a.m. Kyle, you're dead to me. Kyle, Mom is having a panic attack. Kyle, if anything happens to her, it's on you. Denise posted on Facebook that her ungrateful daughter was destroying the family. A few relatives liked it. Jolene commented once. Tell them about the loan, Denise. The post vanished within an hour. A week later, the real reason for Smyrna Pines surfaced when the property manager finally called back after I gave the report number. Denise had rented Unit 3B under my name for Kyle after he got evicted, deposit, utilities, everything. Then used my money to keep it afloat. Kyle showed up at my job again, but this time security met him at the door. He screamed my name across the lobby until my supervisor threatened to call Atlanta PD. That night I sat on my couch, listening to the quiet, and the grief arrived like a delayed wave. Not because I missed the money, because I finally understood my family would rather ruin me than change. 2 days after that, a sheriff's deputy taped an eviction notice to Unit 3B's door. Kyle blamed me. Denise called relatives in tears, but nobody could unsee the paperwork once Jolene started forwarding screenshots. Then Jolene called and said, "Baby, your mama just left me a voicemail. I wish I could tell you there was a clean ending where everyone apologized, hugged, and learned a lesson. There wasn't." Denise stopped talking to me the day after I filed the report. Kyle tried 2 more times to get around it. First with a fake apology, then with rage. "Kyle, just tell them you overreacted." "Me? I didn't overreact. You overreached." "Kyle, so you're really gonna do mom like this?" "Me? Mom did me like this." After that, the messages slowed. Not because they understood, because the doors started closing. The loan stayed flagged. The joint account was shut down. The apartment lease under my name was terminated after the investigation started, and the debt got redirected where it belonged. I learned quickly that boundaries aren't a dramatic speech. They're boring, repetitive actions. I put everything in writing. I sent 1 email to Denise and Kyle with 4 sentences. "I will not send money. Do not contact my workplace. Any communication must be by text or email. If you threaten me again, I will report it." Jolene helped me change my locks and set up a doorbell camera. She sat with me while I called the credit bureaus, because doing it alone felt like drowning in menus. She also dragged me to therapy, because my nervous system didn't care that I'd won. It still expected sirens. The hardest part wasn't losing them. It was grieving the version of them I'd been paying for. This imaginary family who loved me because I was me, not because I was useful. Some relatives still think I'm harsh. I let them. I'm done auditioning for a role that costs me my future. If you're in this situation, here's the practical thing I wish someone screamed at me sooner. Don't argue feelings. Document facts. Screenshot transfers. Save voicemails. Freeze your credit. Don't hand over cash without paperwork. Love doesn't require you to go broke to prove it.